Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 1993. He turned pro in 2001 with Dynasty. He's also played for Infamous and the Ironmen. He's got 30 plus pro wins. He's a husband. He's a father of two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Johnny Perchak. Welcome, buddy.
What's up, Zyzek?
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
So, what was your path to Dynasty?
It was interesting. So I just started playing for fun as anybody else would. I played at Mare Island my first few times, just rental gun with some friends that never really played paintball again after that. Then in high school, there was a guy that gave in English class, he gave a speech about paintball and brought like some paintball guns in. I'm like, oh my God, I've done that before. This is so cool. You do that still, you know? And I never had anybody to play with. And he's like, oh yeah. So we became friends, started playing with him at this place called Adventure Games in Concord, which is closer to my house than Mare Island. And I guess the short of it is I met buddies there, Dave Baines, Glenn Takamoto, Adam Brescia, Nathan Armstrong. And we all were like kind of working, playing there. And that's where I started playing paintball for real, I guess, was there.
So your rookie team was comprised of a bunch of people that were very successful in the pro division.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like, you know, a lot of times maybe there's one standout, two standouts that end up somehow are able to make it. And if that's even their dream is to keep continuing to play. And I mean, all five of us played professional. Like that's insane, you know, and we were a really good rookie team, but we were children, you know, we were like 15, 16 years old playing against 35-year-old men, you know, so it was a pretty cool situation. Everyone was really good and everyone ended up being very successful in paintball.
So you had Dave Baines, you, Glenn, Duffy. Who else?
Oh yeah, Duffy. I didn't say Duffy. Duffy, and I think Duffy came a little bit later because we got him from like Mare Island area, but not that much later, but a little later. So Dave, Johnny, Nathan Armstrong, who was a big part of Dynasty early on. He just didn't play, but he was like the most like, you know, put together guy that could kind of keep us in track. He was like our pit crew manager and whatever. Glenn Takamoto, Adam Brescia, and all of those people except for me played on the Avalanche team that played professional after the Rocky Cagnoni Avalanche team.
Dude.
Yeah, so they were incredible.
So this was a rookie team, Pan Am,
yeah,
Hopper Ball rookie team.
Yeah, supposed to be.
You went from
Ball, yeah.
Well, you know, you could like people with sneak pods on and stuff like that.
Boy, we were really good at that.
I think I would see you guys like someone's walking out, someone would like drop a pod next to a guy when they're walking out.
Oh, so what we would do, like a lot of that. So I have a bunch of funny ones with that. But Dave was huge always. He was a really big guy, you know. And we used to wear those JT like cargo pants. They had the pocket on the side. So like you got 200 rounds, but the loader only carried whatever 180 or something, right? The view loader. So we would use the little 100-round tubes to get 200 full rounds. So we'd all have two in our pocket, and Dave would have two in his pocket. And then next thing you know, he'd pull a pot out and be like, "Oh, it spilled open," you know. Well, he had 100 other paintballs in his pocket, but he pretended like one spilled. So next thing you know, he's loading his loader, and then you could switch them out. Like maybe one guy only needed one pod, but another guy needed, you know, 3 pods. So it wasn't that one person could have 200. It's like you got the allotment for the team of 5. So we fudged that pretty good. But I mean, everyone did. Yeah. I played one with the Bushwhackers. I had 8 pods on my back or something one time. And so there was a lot of paint fudging when you had to count the paintballs.
Well, it was easier in 10-man because 10-man you could have 500 rounds.
Yeah. So we played 5.
There's a lot more shenanigans there.
Oh, yeah. But trust me, there was plenty in 5-man. You start in the woods and then you know, it's not like in the wide open. So like once you get behind some trees and some bushes, you do whatever you want, really, you know.
Johnny, so you went from rookie Pan Am, like you're just right out of Young Guns, basically, to Dynasty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, it's like you did like a Kobe.
Yeah.
No one else on your team went pro. Like it took them all several years to go pro.
Yeah, not at that point. And they, I mean, they're still really, really, really good friends of mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were not happy with that. But like, I mean, you know, I kind of had to take the opportunity. But at that point, we were all playing at Fairgrounds. And that was right after Mare Island, when Mare Island closed. And that was Eric Crandall's spot. And it was just it was a hyperball field and an airball field. And you could just really grind. And they were open Friday night and then Saturday and Sunday. So we were just there always just playing and grinding. So I got to kind of play against and know like a lot of the, like Alex and Ryan and Oliver and Angel, who became a really good friend of mine because we lived closer to each other than everybody else. And so I was playing with and against those guys all the time. So that was kind of the end to that.
Do you remember getting asked to play for Dynasty?
I do kind of. So I guess there was I almost got asked, I guess, for Pittsburgh. They were either going to ask either me or Duffy, and they decided to ask Duffy instead. And then the year, right. So Duffy went to Pittsburgh with him that year. I didn't know about that till later. And then right after the season, I don't exactly remember who called me, but I was like, friends with a lot of, at that point, like Oliver and I we would play a lot, like one-on-ones, and we would just grind out there at Fairgrounds. So I think Oliver was on Ironman at that point. But anyway, I think Alex called me. I can't exactly remember, and asked if I wanted to play the following year. They were going to start a professional team. Chuck Inch was going to take it pro and blah, blah, blah. And we were going to do the first agreement. They used to do Mardi Gras back then. It was the 5-man to like start it off, which was really fun. I don't know why they ever stopped doing that. So yeah, I jumped at it, but then I had to tell, Dave and Nate, and these guys are like my best friends, and they were not happy. I know Dave didn't talk to me for probably a year after that.
I mean, how can you he can't blame you, right? I mean, you're a rookie getting asked to play for Dynasty. Like, what was that like?
Well, Dynasty was nothing. At that point, they didn't even have a name. Like, we were looking at names, Impact and I think Impact was one of the names. It was all these like random names. So it was just out of control. Essentially, it was that team that was going to turn pro.
But it was Cap, right? And Iron Kids, and they were successful, right?
Yeah, it was Cap and out of control. And I played one tournament with Iron Kids in it was like Cal Jam or something. So I knew all those guys. I was friends with all of them. Like, we were relatively close at that point, but not like as good of friends as we've become. But I mean, I was joining, a professional team, but there were no wins under the belt. They were a brand new team. They were an amateur team that like was successful, but not massively successful. I mean,
not as pros yet. Yeah.
No, not as pros. And even as amateur, I mean, I don't think Cap or Out of Control ever won a World Cup, or I mean, they might've won an event, but I'm not even sure. But yeah, no, I mean, I was super excited, jumped at it.
I mean, the team was probably the most successful startup team, like brand new pro team that ever existed, Yeah. And I mean, so you were part of basically like a 5 or 6 or 7 year tear where you guys were winning everything, winning every European event, winning the NPPLs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like the first event that we played pro was the LA Open.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a starter at that point. But Opie got hurt. So, and I was a front guy at that time. Like, I wasn't a midfielder, back guy. I was like the attack guy. So they're like, so you're in, So then I started playing after Opie got hurt, and just run into the farthest spots. Like, it was brutal. I mean, those fields were tough, and they were really, really long runs, and you're diving into stuff and you're getting really banged up. And so yeah, like you said, I went straight from playing like rookie paintball to like diving into the furthest spot against Image or Rage or Aftershock, or, you know, and it was like, holy shit, what's going on right now? You know, guys like
How many feed necks did you break?
How many what?
How many feed necks did you break?
Oh my God, I broke more barrels than feed necks probably. But I mean, I dislocated my shoulder multiple times. I broke fingers. I mean,
jeez,
I broke so like they after not that year, but I think the following year, JT started making barrels, and they weren't very strong. And the fields were different than they are now. Like they're pretty well. It'd be like the equivalent of like a Sunday after, you know, towards the end of an event after they've just been getting really beat up. So you're diving into stuff, and yeah, so I was snapping barrels left and right. I played so many games with half a barrel.
Just the back, just the JT back.
Yeah. The aluminum part was missing, and just the stainless steel part was left.
Dude, so I mean, most people know about your ride with Dynasty. Maybe a lot of people don't know about you leaving and going to play for Infamous. So what happened there?
So it's not that I left Dynasty. I started having horrible issues with like panic attacks and anxiety, which made me stop being able to fly. Yeah, I was in just a horrible spot. Didn't know what happened to me. I mean, I still deal with it today. But so I stopped playing paintball, and then I started getting a little bit better. And then, I mean, I love paintball. It's my favorite thing to do. So I started playing like just for fun, like locally, and kind of just helping some teams out. And you know, I was still in paintball. Everyone kind of knew who I was still. And then I'm like, you know, this is pretty fun and still relatively good. So maybe I want to play, you know. I don't know how to be honest, the Infamous thing came about, but like it was the end of the season. So it was mid-season. And so yeah, I went and played with Infamous in I think it was a San Diego event, which was awesome because I always got along with those guys. I looked up to like LB and Travis and those guys, and JR. They were just incredible paintball players. So it was pretty fun to go and play with those guys, at least, you know, for one event.
Yeah. At home too.
Yeah.
Were you in San Diego at that time?
So once I started having those issues, I moved home. So okay. I was back up north at that point, and that was in like,
gotcha.
So that was, I think we talked about it, was it 2007?
Yeah. Around there.
Yeah. Around there. Yeah.
And then you went to the Ironmen.
Yeah. And then I had in paintball, you have so many friends. So I had a lot of friends in the Ironman, and even when I was going to play with Infamous, I was talking to the Ironman a bunch because, you know, I was super close with Oliver, and then like talking to Nikki and stuff. And they're like, well, if you're going to come back and play, come back and play on our team. And I'm trying to remember. So I think this is what happened. I think I went back to play because I'm like, you know, I'm back, I want to play. So I went to a practice with Dynasty mid-season, and I was pumped. I assumed everyone was gonna be excited to have me back, and for the most part, everyone was. And we have like 2 days of practice, and I'll never forget. I remember I'm so excited to be back. I'm like pumped. I want to play paintball. I didn't want to stop. I was fucked up. So like, that's why I stopped. Yeah. And Davey's like, I just want to address the elephant in the room. I had no idea he was talking about me. And he goes, having Johnny back now is going to affect people's playing time. And we're already this far into the year. And I know people are worried how that's going to work and this and that. And I was like,
typical Davey. I got it.
It was like I just got punched. I had no idea that was what was about to be said. And I was like,
right.
Holy shit, is this going to affect them like that? And I was like, okay, well, I thought about it and was like, well, then fine. Like, you know, I don't want to mess anything up. You know, I don't want, you guys got a good thing going. It is what it is, you know? So,
well, were other people like, here, Davey, you're right. Like, fuck Johnny. Like, what?
No,
how'd it go down?
I don't remember that at all. But like on we would rotate a lot on Dynasty. So I mean, maybe people were. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Davey brought that up probably for a reason. Maybe he wasn't the only one feeling like that. But for me, I'm like, let's go. I'm so excited to be back. Like, it's the only team I ever, it's my team I played on. That was my team. I never wanted to play on any other teams. So Infamous, and then I played on the Ironmen, which was amazing. I wouldn't change that for anything. It was one of my favorite years I've ever had. That being said, I'm a Dynasty through and through, but the Ironman was awesome. It was so much fun. We were all so close. We had, one of the most incredible teams that year. We won the World Cup. We won one of the events. We should have won the MPBL series. That was probably the biggest blunder that any team's ever done, to lose a series, is what the Ironman did that year. The team that I was on.
What did they do?
All we had to do was make it out of the prelims. We were the best team in the MPBL, in my opinion, by far. All we had to do was make it out of the prelims, and we lock up the MPBL. And we lost like 5 of 7 games.
Jeez.
So to put that in perspective, there was one of the events that the event that we won, we played with 6 guys throughout the entire prelim, not 7. It was 6 on 7, and we won that tournament. Well, so we got suspended because I was bird dogging. Do you remember that? Remember
I thought that was Paxton or something like that.
I'm like, no, remember the most for that. And I didn't even know what that was. And I was told to do it by either Paxton or Oliver. Someone videotaped it, and they turned it into the MPPL. And then, so our team the punishment was we had to play with 6 guys. But like, I was the one who did it. Yeah, I didn't even get suspended. They didn't say Johnny can't play. So I played every game. It was like one of the craziest things. But so like we won that event. We won all our games in the prelim with 6 guys. And then we play in San Diego, or wherever it was, the final event. I think it was San Diego. And we lose like 5 out of 7 games. All we had to do was make it out of the prelims. I think we had to win 3 games or something. And so then Dynasty won the series because of that. Then I went back to Dynasty the next year.
I don't think you're known for bird dogging. I mean, I didn't know that. And I don't know. I know a lot of useless stuff.
I mean, so when I call Ryan or he calls me, first thing he says is, "Bird dog, what are you doing?" Like everybody calls it. And I'm telling you now, I didn't know what it was. I had never heard of it. I didn't know anyone had ever done it. And it was in the prelims, and we were just rotating. We were playing a team that was like nobody. And I want to say it was Oliver, but it might have been Paxton, one of those 2 numbskulls. They said, like mirror the guy in the snake. And so I happened to be eating an apple, which I guess made it funnier to everybody. It looked like I was just minding my own business, and I was just like watching the game, but no one was watching the game because we were playing. I don't know what we were playing. They were terrible, I think. And so I'm just like mirroring the guy going down the snake, just so like Short could know like where he was. And it wasn't even my idea. Like, I had nothing to do with it other than I was the one that happened to be sitting that game in the prelims, and somebody videotaped it and busted me.
That's a hard thing to police, though. It's like, I'm just watching. I'm eating an apple. Like, what?
And they never asked me. The MPBL never asked me a single question about it. They had some committee. They watched the video, and they were like, yeah. So they came up with a punishment that was, you're down a body for the prelims. And that's all it was. It was kind of strange.
But and then you won that event with 6 people.
Well, we only did it in the prelims. We played with 7 guys after the prelims, but yeah.
Okay, so prelims you won, and then you won that event, right?
Yes.
And then you get to the San Diego or final event, and all you have to do is make it out of the prelims, and you lock up the title.
Yeah, or something like win 3 games in the prelims. It was like the most simple task that you could ask for a team that was like the best team in the MPPL at that point. And I don't know how that happened. It was horrible though.
So then you went back to Dynasty. Did Oliver leave too at that time?
No, Oliver was on for another year, I think.
Okay. So you finished out your career with Dynasty. What would have been like 2011 or 2010, something like that?
Yeah. It was like the middle of either 2010 or 11.
Man, that's a good decade-long career right there.
It was fun. Yeah. When it ended for me, it was like during the kind of economy crash and everything was going wrong and Smart Parts just went out of business and we got hammered for a bunch of money and we were, I don't know, we just weren't having as much fun to me. Like every single weekend I'd hop on a fly down to San Diego, practice, fly back. And it was like just super kind of just not like how it used to be. We would go out or we would go to movies or we'd go to dinner. You know, it was like after practice, everyone split up and it was like Angel and I just kind of, or Alex fending for ourselves. And everyone was just, it wasn't as fun as it was. And at that point, the money was pretty dried up. So we weren't getting a whole lot. At that point, I was 28 or 9 or something like that. But I felt like I needed to kind of figure out something more, you know?
Yeah.
So
you've had, I imagine, man, and you've had an incredible career, lots of traveling, right? Amazing memories made, a lot of fun. So share with us a couple memories that really stand out for you.
I mean, winning that first World Cup was pretty epic because we were so new. And I mean, there was a lot of controversy with it, but it was still for us, it was still a really big deal. You know, we weren't supposed to win that tournament. We weren't like Dynasty yet, you know. It got to a point where Dynasty was supposed to win every tournament, you know. That one wasn't one of them. Aftershock's supposed to win that tournament. They win the World Cup, you know. And, you know, I think whatever the math is there, but I was 18 or 19 years old. We're pretty much all the exact same age. And Aftershock are like grown up adults, mean. They look like they win, you know, they're ready for a cage fight, whatever. Like I always looked up to those guys. I liked like that real tough persona, you know, and we're not supposed to win. And everyone found out that we were pretty good at paintball at that point. And so that's a pretty cool, from there, it was like just skyrocket. You know, we were really good after that point.
What was the controversy? I mean, I think most people only know what they see in Sunday Drivers. You know, Brad's running back with the flag, time runs out, Aftershock celebrates. So what happened?
Yeah, so it was like, I mean, you know how now where like if you hang the flag with a hit on you or whatever, there's a penalty and people get pulled and they can assess a point the other way. It was the same situation. The cheating was different back then. Right now, you can't really cheat, which I love that. Back then, there was a whole lot of cheating. And I'm not saying that our guys never cheated because that would be false. But Aftershock was cheating their ass off. They really were. And I don't remember the exact people at the end that were the culprits of that. But there was some cheating going on. And there were a bunch of people with hits on them. And there was whoever ended up shooting Brad at the end had a hit on him. And that's how they end up talking about it. And I think that they didn't realize that if the last person that shot Brad had a hit on him, it's supposed to be a 1-for-1. And if there's no one to pull, that you're awarded the victory or you're awarded the pull. The point system were different back then. Yeah. However that played out, with the formalities of how the penalties worked, we were awarded the win because of that. So,
but I mean, that one win might have been in question, but like nothing Dynasty did after that would ever be questioned, you know?
Yeah. Which is kind of nice because if that was the only win that we ever had, then it's just like, you know, maybe, you know, but then after that, they just started kind of just steamrolling wins for the next 6 years or something. So that was pretty cool. But that was very memorable. Honestly, all the 10-man World Cup stuff it was just different. You know, you're driving golf carts around and you know, WDP's got this like
Heaven.
This acre spread called Heaven with hot tubs and dancing girls and everything you could drink and eat, and it was just different. It was really, really cool. And I wish that everyone that played paintball now could experience stuff like that, because it was a pretty fun time.
Where's the best place paintball has taken you, like around the world?
My God, I had Sweden was really fun. Max and Alex Lundqvist, they're Swedish, and so at least one of the times we spent an extra like 5 days out there, and they have like a summer house, and it was like Maddie and Davey and a bunch of Dynasty guys, and God, I don't remember. There was probably 10 or 12 of us just having the time of our lives out there, not playing paintball. Paintball's over, and it's this summer in Sweden, and it stays light until like 11 o'clock at night. It's warm. You're right on the water. Like that was a really, really fun time. Barcelona, I thought, was really pretty. I mean, it was fun. It's fun being able to experience all those places. And just as like a kid, you're just going out there with your buddies without a care in the world, not afraid of anything. You don't worry about, like, now if I went out there, I'm worried about all these different things, but out there, I remember one of the times I couldn't find my passport. I think we were going to Portugal. We were definitely going to Portugal. And I had like 3 days. So I drove to LA, waited around for hours and hours and hours to print me out a passport. So I got a new passport, but I had to miss our flight. So I flew out there by myself, and I get out there into customs, and they're like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm here to play paintball." And they're like, "Okay, where are you staying?" I really didn't know where I was staying. And they're like, "You don't know where you're staying?" And I'm like, "Well, so we're playing paintball," and I knew where we were playing paintball. And they're like, "Okay, well, who's picking you up?" And I'm like, "Here we go." I actually don't know who's picking me up, because they sent this guy named Hugo, who ended up being a really good buddy of ours, to pick me up. But I had never met him at that point. So I'm like, well, there's this guy named Hugo picking me up. They're like, "You're telling me you just flew from Los Angeles, you flew all the way to Portugal, you don't know where you're staying, you don't know who's picking you up, and you think you know where you're going?" And I'm like, that sounds crazy. But yeah, that's true. That's really the case, And the guy was so pissed, and he goes, "Let me give you a tip. The next time you come to another country, make sure you know what you're doing, where you're going, where you're staying. You need more information than that." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, But I was 19 years old. I didn't care. I just was like, I'm gonna get there, and it's gonna get figured out. I don't know,
Man, what a tremendous gift, though. I mean, if you think about it, the places that you went, Johnny, to play paintball, to shoot paintballs at other people. It's a fun thing that you're doing, but you're traveling to amazing places and seeing amazing things and meeting amazing people. Like, do you ever stop and just think about, like, what an incredible gift it is?
Yeah, and which also happened to be my favorite thing of all time. Like, that's all I thought about. That's all I wanted to do, is play paintball, and I got to do it like with what turned out to be like my best friends at the highest level, winning a whole lot, which winning makes everything more fun. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a dream. It was really, really cool. And I wish it wasn't so long ago, although I do have really fond memories of it still.
It wasn't that long ago, buddy. We'll talk in 10 years, and then we'll say it's a long time. But
I mean, it's only
a decade.
If my last year was 2011, it's been 10. It's been 12 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. It goes by quick, huh?
Oh my God, like a blink.
It's crazy, especially if you have kids.
It goes by even faster. Yeah, 2 kids now makes it go by much faster. And they don't even.
So
they don't even like. They don't. Not that it's like I was this big professional baseball player or something, but like they don't know anything about that stuff. Like my wife lets me. Like I have like my magazine covers and like little posters. She lets me put them in the garage. That's as close as it gets to the house. So my kids get to see the garage, and they're like, "That's daddy, that's daddy," and they don't really know anything about it. But my son thinks paintball's cool. He's only 3, so he doesn't know anything about it. Although I have him watch like the live, and then he carries one of my little guns around the house, and I let him shoot it, but we like stick it in the couch so it doesn't make too much noise. So he's like,
get him a gel blaster.
I know. I need to get him that. I think he's ready to go on that, but he's such a maniac that if I gave him one of those, I mean, I don't know what our house would look like.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, but good luck telling a 3-year-old little boy only outside, you know?
True.
Yeah.
So, man, with all the amazing teammates that you've had, who's been your favorite teammate over the years?
I mean, I don't know. It's like we were such a team that we were all really, really close, you know?
No clicks.
Outside of paintball, Ryan and Brian, so Greenspan and BC have been my two like closest friends that I stay in touch with a bunch still. And Alex, I mean, I stay in touch with a lot of the guys when they have practice up here. I pretty much in Sacramento, I pretty much come to not everyone, but almost everyone, and like spend the weekend and hang out. Yeah, I can't say that I have like a favorite teammate, like paintball teammate. You know, they all just share a different special,
like brothers.
Yeah, like in Paxton, like I always knew Paxton and we were always friends, but like if I never played on the Ironman, I would have never got as close to Paxton. And like I love Paxton. He's like literally one of the greatest people, coolest guys. Like we're mentally so similar with like just being a very aggressive, not in paintball, but like just mentally, you know, when we're like, he's a maniac, you know, and I love that. I love Paxton. And so you just meet and with having different teammates that you just travel with, and like, you just share the same mindset of like, you just wanting to win and everyone get better. You just build these bonds that are just, and they're different with everyone. You know, you have different relationships and they're not all the same, but they're all very important. And they play an important role in your success in paintball and in life, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. The memories that you create and the relationships that you create in paintball definitely influence you in the real world.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like, that's what you devote your life to for so long, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Let me give you an easier one. Favorite player to watch, or someone that you always like to stop and watch play?
I think one of the most electric players to ever play paintball was Angel Fregosa. In my opinion, Oliver is the best player ever. And Ryan has given him a run for his money because of how at the top of his game he's been for 20 years or something. I mean, Ryan's been very good for a long time. And I swear he's gotten better in the last 6-7 years, you know, like he's incredible. But like, so Oliver, there wasn't another player that I can ever remember that other teams were more worried about every single game than Oliver. Aside from maybe Angel, but you knew where Angel was going every time. He was going in the snake. Yeah. And for the most part, you couldn't stop that from happening. And when he got in there, he was shooting everybody. And everybody was worried about Angel diving into the snake and shooting your entire team in the back. And that's what he did. And I love that. And I wish, like, I try to, when I give like little advice to people, and I know all snakes are different, but for the most part, you get in a snake, if there's nobody in there, you get as far as you can get and start shooting people in the back, because that's why you're there. And Angel, never had to tell him that. You never had to think about it. And Angel was on your side of the field shooting you in the back if he was in there. And he was, I mean, if you think about it, how easy is it if there's a guy, if Angels, especially on those big 10-man fields, Angels on their side of the field, everyone's worried about it, and then everyone else just goes down the other side and starts shooting people in the back, you know, and Angel didn't even see anybody, you know? Angel was a special guy. He was incredible at paintball.
I asked Brad who he thought the best player was, and he's like, I don't know, but I'll tell you what, no one's got the snake done like Angel Fregosa, even to this day.
I mean, when you do these, if you ask I mean, you've probably done a bunch of these with some older guys like myself, but ask guys, if you interview somebody from Strange, or you interview somebody from Aftershock, or you interview somebody from Image or whatever, and you just ask them about Angel and see what they say, I would be shocked if one person said something other than, holy shit, that guy was incredible. Because he was.
He gets mentioned a lot, dude, in these interviews. His name comes up a lot.
He was.
And I've talked with BJ from Strange and a couple other guys. And yeah, I mean, you still talk to Angel? Are you in contact with him?
Never. And we were very close. So I grew up in Alamo, and he grew up in Vallejo. And Vallejo was where Fairgrounds was. So we were only like 15 minutes away from each other. So we spent a ton of time together. He was a really good friend of mine. I honestly do not know where he is. I think he might be in the Pacific Northwest somewhere. And I think Alex probably has the closest tab on him, but I don't know where Angel is. I wish I did.
Man, I'd like to interview him. I'd like him to come back to paintball is what I'd like.
We tried to get him to play one of the 10-mans that I played in. I don't play in many of them. I wish I could play in more. But we were trying to get him to play in some of those. I mean, that's right up in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Like, Angel is an absolute, he's a woods ball guy, you know?
Yeah.
And he was really good in the woods.
Like sneaky, not anyone like shouting out your positions and, blowing it for you.
And he was fast, and he was super athletic. And he was very good. It was funny. We'd be going over game plans. So Angel had one spot. He was going to the snake. It was never like, oh, maybe you'll go here, or maybe we'll put him up the center, or like, oh, maybe we'll try him. There was none of that. He was going to the snake. So back then you had to walk 7 fields or something. So he would literally walk the snake and then sit on the side by himself while like, I like to walk every spot. I think it's super important, because not only do you not know where you may end up when shit hits the fan, but like, I want to know what other people are shooting at if I'm in this spot.
Right.
Like, they're in the snake, or they're in this insert, or what can they see, So I like to walk everything. Angel would walk the snake, sit Indian style till it was time to talk about it. And then, you'd have headphones on or whatever. But no one ever, if I tried to do that, I would be yelled at. If Alex tried to do that, someone would yell at him. But like Angel, you just let him do his thing. It was like, he knew what he was doing, and so just let him be. You just let Angel go.
Yeah. You don't try to like, you just unleash him is what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was funny too. It'd be like, because it was a big deal deciding, like, are you going to go all the way, or are you going to hold up short? And like, he could do either one. He would hold up short, but he would never get like stuck. He would always end up getting the snake. And we would just 100% leave it up to him. Like, are you going, or are you not going? And he would just say, oh, I'm going. And it could be the biggest game to win the tournament, and it might be hard to get there. And he'll be like, yeah, I got it. And it was like, he's got it. Don't worry about it. You didn't ever, you let him make the decision. He was going or he wasn't going. It was up to him.
Yeah. Oh man. The ghetto superstar.
Yeah. The ghetto superstar. Yeah. My buddy.
So Johnny, you got anything cool to show us?
Yeah. I remember you asked me about that. So how did you phrase it? I wish I remembered how you texted to me, because I was like,
I probably said, a nostalgic piece or a cherished item.
A cherished item. I think you said a cherished item. So
okay.
I would sell everything. I didn't care. I didn't really keep many things. I sold all my guns. Someone wanted to buy something, I was selling it. We got so much stuff that what am I going to do with it? And it was a nice way to make money. However, there were a few things that I kept that I would always wear. Typically it was things I would wear. I wish I still had that's the first thing I thought of. I dug through everything. I couldn't find it. I wore clear goggles, JT goggles, the lenses. I mean, not the lenses, the frame. I wore a clear frame with a cheetah strap. I can't find the goggles, but I found the little cheetah strap. I pretty much wore a cheetah strap in when we were JT, I wore this cheetah strap, and you could tell how banged up this thing is, right?
Just to pay homage to your trip in Sweden.
Dude, I don't know why. It was like, it might have come on the first set of goggles that I got, and then the cheetah, it means nothing. It's just the fact that this is the one I always wore.
Huh.
I don't know why. Maybe it kind of stood out and was kind of goofy, so I wanted to wear it. I'm not sure why, but I wore this. I mean, I couldn't even. It's so long and stretched out, like it wouldn't even fit on goggles anymore. I don't think.
It's funny that you have like the earpieces attached and no goggle.
Yeah, I don't know where they went. I really don't. I thought I had the goggles. I don't have them. And so I wore, and this is, people might get a kick out of this because the arm skins are pretty good now. And the fields are way better than what I played on in the beginning. But I wore these JT arm skins.
Oh God, dude!
And look at this one little.
My elbow hurts just looking at that thing.
I have bursitis in this elbow. I had to have it drained multiple times. And when I worked at JT for a while, I wrote Young Hova.
I remember that.
Yeah, so on both my arm skins, and I only pulled one of them out. But so I wore these for many injuries because they don't do absolutely. I mean, they don't do it.
Well, like that where that cup is, your elbow would go right. The cup would go like this, and your elbow would go right in that spot where there's no padding. And I like when I was wearing JT, those original JT elbow pads. Like I had a reoccurring scab on my elbow for like years.
So you want to know what happened to my reoccurring scab? I got like
I remember you had like a like a bulbous thing on there.
I got staph infection, and so we're in the movie theater. It's pitch black, and I remember, you can't really see, but it was like the armrest was like not very comfortable. It's like a plastic armrest in the movie theater, and my arm was like, God, it doesn't feel good sitting on there. Why does it hurt? But like that little dot didn't hurt. Just my whole arm was sore, So I ended up like sitting and like leaving my arm, but it's dark in there, so I didn't see anything. We get out of the movie theater, and my arm was like frozen almost. Like I couldn't bend it anymore, and it was so swollen. Like my bicep and my wrist were almost the same size. It was stuck. I'm like, holy shit. I got to go to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room. Like, you have a horrible infection, and it's because I had this little scab that never went away. And I would Friday, I'd put those arm skins back on, and I would sweat, and it would rip the scab off, and I would dive on it again. And so they gave me all these, like some kind of antibiotic. Well, that next morning we were flying to, I think, Amsterdam or something to ref an event, which is so stupid. But so I flew like 13 hours on these pain medications, and I remember I stacked like all these pillows up, and I just had my arm sitting in. But it wasn't that this hurt. My entire arm was like pins and needles. Like the whole arm hurt. So even setting it on a pillow hurt. And I flew all the way out there with this just horrible infection in my arm. It went away, but they said that it could have been bad. They had to do x-rays and make sure that it didn't get into the bone. Because if it would have gotten to the bone, they would have cut my arm off.
Dude, I bet you at SC Village, like when it would rain and the water would collect in front of the bunkers.
Yeah, from the cow pasture.
From the cow, like the cow hair and the cow piss and the cow shit. And it would just like smell rancid, right? Yeah. And you dive in there with an open wound, like that's a guaranteed staph infection, right?
You would certainly think. Yeah. So I got that. And
oh man.
Yeah, and then that's because of the R&D on these bad boys right here. They weren't. I mean, look at that. That's what we had.
Yeah, not good.
It's wafer thin with a little pad that didn't sit on your elbow.
No.
Man. Yeah. So a couple other deals. I had a shirt, and this thing you can see how banged up. I don't even know what happened. I try to keep some cool stuff, but they made a shirt. I think Virtue made this shirt. It's a shirt from me. That's me. Sorry, it's backwards when I pull this thing around. So
there we go.
Yeah.
I see you now.
What does it say? Strike first, strike hard, or something. I don't know. And then it's kind of cool.
It's like a Karate Kid.
Yeah, Karate Kid, like for Johnny, because the Karate Kid goes, Johnny says, I kill, I kill, I kill. Kind of sweet.
Put him in a body bag, Johnny.
Exactly. That's what it was kind of for. So I have a couple of these shirts left. That was kind of cool.
Right on.
I pretty much always wore my Iron Kids. So I always wear a bandana. Even when I play still today, I wear a bandana. And sorry, let's hear the little Iron Kids one. I got my head blown off.
Looks like an old one.
Oh yeah, I got shot in the head so many times it blew a hole in it. I still wear this one when I play, but I'll just wear something over it. This thing's so old. I always wore a bandana.
That's special.
Of some, yeah, this one's pretty cool. It would take a lot for me to get rid of this. All of these things.
What else you got?
Last thing I have is one of the first Hormesis headbands, and it's got like my little signature on it and a chainsaw. I don't remember why, but Alex told me why. And then it came in I have a Hermes watch, and Hormesis is like very similar, obviously. And the little headbands that it comes in are the same shape, size, or whatever as the watch, just a different color. And so I have the box, which I can't find. I was just asking my wife to help me find it, but we couldn't find it before this. But it came with like a nice little note, like typed up note from Alex saying like, that's why I wish I had it, because I wanted to read it because it was pretty cool. Saying that like I was, I think he said I was one of his favorite teammates of all time and the most athletic paintball player.
Most handsome.
Yeah, he didn't go into that. He's a turd.
Well, you can say whatever.
Right. Yeah, I could say it now. But I think he said I'm the most athletic player he's ever played with or something like that, which I think I liked that. I thought that was pretty cool. I appreciate that sort of.
That's awesome.
Hormesis
is like the Hermes of paintball.
Dude, they are. I'm so proud of those guys. They're absolutely killing it. And it is so cool. And just to see how many people they just love it. It's really, really, really cool. I have like a like a Hermes, or I have like a jumpsuit, like what is that one? Yeah, that's the box. Mine's blue.
This is LaSoya.
Yeah.
This is one of Chris gave me this. It's the Pony Express.
Yeah.
And then this is one of like the earlier ones. Alex sent me this. I got a cool note too.
Yeah, there we go.
But like, it's amazing to like they really impacted a lot of players by like sending these headbands, like, and with something written. It's like it made it something super meaningful, because it's like I was kind of like saying, Dan, like I just wear my headgear and this is what I wear and I'm not going to change it ever. And there's no reason to change it ever. And then, when your buddy sends you a headband and writes something beautiful, and it's like, now this means more,
Yeah. And if you would have gotten something written, the beautiful written piece sent to you a year out of playing paintball wouldn't quite mean as much as getting something 10 years removed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because now I start to, for me, when I was playing paintball, I loved playing paintball. I wanted to be as good at paintball as I could be. I wanted my peers to think that I was good at paintball and, just be as good as I could be. To be honest, at that point in my life, I could care less about being in a magazine or getting an interview or anything. Like signing autographs, I enjoyed it, but like, unfortunately, I found myself being like, are we done yet? And like, honestly, how much of an asshole could you possibly be to be like, I don't want to sign autographs anymore. Like, these people are standing there because they think you are cool enough. They want you to handwrite your name on something for them, And I think it just goes along with just being so young. Like, I appreciate that stuff way more now and being more removed. But I wish that I would have been just, not that I was mean, but just nicer to things like that, and been like I had a Splat magazine interview one time that they were going to do one of those, multi-page Splat interview things. I basically just stood them up and didn't go, because it didn't, I didn't care. Like, wasn't like a big thing to me, and I got in trouble for it, but it was just like, I don't know, it just was never my thing. I just wanted to be good and I wanted my peers to know that I was good. It didn't matter to me as much that other people thought I was good that watched,
And then you get this beautiful gesture, right? This beautiful headband, and it's got a note from your close friend. And he's basically saying, you are remembered, and you are remembered this specific way. You mattered in my life, and I'm writing this to tell you this. And here's a token of that. It's a beautiful thing, man.
It was very special.
Yeah, and it makes you like feel like, oh gosh, you know, like maybe I do want to be remembered a certain way. You know? Maybe so I mean, Johnny, how would you like to be remembered in paintball?
I mean, I would just I would like to be, I wish I could say I would like to, I mean, I would like to be remembered as a good person and that everyone liked me. And unfortunately in paintball, I don't think that that's the case because I was just so passionate and I was mean a lot of the times, you know what I mean? I didn't care. I was ready to do whatever it took. I wanted to fight. I wanted to do any of that stuff. And it just, cause that's just how I was at that time. And I'm just so not like that anymore, which is so funny because all my friends now that I have that I do different sports with and stuff, they just see me as like the nicest guy that everyone is like, how can Johnny ever?
Well, you had a daughter.
I never see him. Yeah, I know. They're like, Johnny never gets mad at anything. I never see him mad. And like, I was screaming and smashing things and breaking things like every practice, every tournament. Like I was just, you know, I don't know. I had more testosterone flying through my body at that point or something. But
for sure,
I just want people to just hopefully remember that I was good at paintball, you know, and I just helped my team contribute to the, I don't know, you were trying to tally him up 40 something professional wins, which is a pretty ridiculous feat. And like Ryan's got Alex and they got like 70 or something. I don't know what it is now. They have a ridiculous amount, 60 or 50 or whatever. But like there's a lot of teams that dedicate their entire lives to playing paintball and might not ever win a single professional event, you know? And like I was lucky enough to play with like the best players of all time, which is clear because they're still playing and winning paintball tournaments at 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'll be 41 tomorrow. Brian's already 41. I think Alex is already 41. And like they're still winning. So like, I mean, you know, I won on other teams too, but like I wouldn't have ever won that much if my career would have started on, I don't think, if on another team, you know what I mean? So I was just super lucky to be with all those guys. And I think we were all lucky to just somehow find each other. And it was this perfect storm of like friendship and camaraderie and like very good paintball, you know?
Dude, I think you'll be remembered as like, you know, the Kobe that went from high school to pro. You went from rookie to pro. I think that most people remember you not as an asshole, but as someone who's super enthusiastic and passionate about the game. Like I remember like you didn't have any problem expressing yourself verbally. And like, it's not like you were fighting anyone, right? But you were passionate about getting your point across. Well, I remember you're a very physical player. Like, you know, you're sacrificing your body. You're getting a staph infection in your arm. Like I remember you committing to spots and diving hard for them and breaking stuff. So that's the Johnny I remember.
Good. I love that. I want to be, that's good. I want to be known as like passionate and playing hard and like just never taking a point off, you know, and just wanting to I felt like I went as absolutely as hard as I could go, like always, you know, and I think that that's very important to do, you know.
I think you might have to remind us all though about it and maybe come back to a 10-man event.
Yeah. You know, I've played a few. I've played a handful. They're fun. It just like Glenn asked me to play December, I think 9th or something, but we're having our family Christmas party that day. So it's just always like two ships passing in the night. Every time I'm on like the group chat with all the guys and they're trying to, and like, I trust me, I want to play. I actually bought a gun.
That's good to hear. You want to play.
Yeah, I do. I love it. I think it's super fun. I bought like one of those cheap mech guns that's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Amazing.
In my entire life.
They shoot so good.
I wish I could tell everybody this. You can compete using that gun against any other gun. 100%. That gun.
I can shoot one of those guns faster than what the rate of fire is in NXL, which is 10 balls a second.
I saw that
shoot
video
faster
with Brandon's little trigger shoot, right?
Yeah.
I saw that video. Those guns shoot flat. They shoot fast as shit. The air efficiency is good. They shoot super straight. They don't ever break. You can bang them into the ground. Like I swear to you, you don't need a super good paintball gun, like a $1,500 gun. You can buy this $400 gun or whatever it is.
It's amazing.
Put a couple little, things on it to make it. And that gun is, I could use that gun against anybody, any gun, and I would feel totally confident.
No question.
The gun is, there's never been a gun to come out to be that good for that cheap.
Yeah.
Like,
and then more expensive versions of it, but like just the plastic model is dope.
That's the one I have. Feels good. It's like the front grip is a little bit thick, and like the whole the length of the gun is good. It's a like a perfect paintball gun. It really is really good.
Sounds like we're gonna see you out there pretty soon.
I know. I want to.
Just gotta wait for the stars to align.
I know. I've any chance I can do it, I will do it. I played probably 4 or 5 of the 10 mans, and they're fun. Dude. They're super fun, and I am so sore after playing those tournaments because it's just a different. Paintball is a different
beast.
Oh, yeah.
The best workout for paintball is playing paintball.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you really just keep playing and keep playing and keep playing.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, what are you most thankful for paintball's given you?
My friends, the friendship. They're still literally some of my best friends. I still love to hear from them. When I go out to these practices in Sacramento, it's like no time's passed. We're just laughing till we're cry, and we're just having the best time ever. And it's just having those friends is, I mean, that's one of the greatest things that paintball has ever given me, for sure. You just build such a strong bond when you have everyone is on the same page with the same mindset, the same goals. We just happen to be the same age. So we're just all so similar in so many respects, although we're very different. And, if you put us in a line, a lot of it, we all look different. We kind of act different, but we're very close. I love all the Dynasty guys. I love all my teammates, the guys that I played with. They've all shared different experiences and different spot in my heart. And it was a fantastic run. It was really, really, really cool. I'm glad I got to do it during the time I got to do it, because it just seems like they call it the golden era of paintball or whatever.
For sure.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it was just a special time. It really, really was. They were trying to get it on TV, and they were getting all these different sponsors and Intel. And I remember Bacardi was trying to sponsor us. Rockstar. They used to ship pallets, and then, I mean, just there was a lot of money involved back then, and just partying, and we were just like young kids, and just so much fun things. We all lived together. We all lived together. Like, how can we all? That's so
paintball house.
The paintball house, and I mean, the stars aligned, and it was such a perfect situation and scenario for all of us. It was great. It was really, really cool. I'm so glad to see that these guys still, I mean, not only play, but they're the best. Like, these guys are incredible, They got some new guy, not new guys, but younger blood. Not like Marcelo's new at all. He's been playing probably as long as I had been playing, if I was still playing now. But he's a little bit younger, and so it just, now they have just all these guys. They're so good. They just keep the ball rolling. And look at Yosh. Like, like he's always like so quiet, and he doesn't get as much recognition as he should. But like, Yosh,
it's always been that way with Yosh, though.
I know, but he's not giving too many points away.
No,
if he's in there, you better watch out.
Yeah, but he's never been like the guy that's like flashy, like in front of the camera. But he's rock steady,
Oh yeah. And Yosh has had the same play style, I feel like, for his entire career. Like, that's how Yosh is played,
like an ostrich.
Okay. I wasn't going to say that, but okay.
Don't you think he kind of like looks like an ostrich when he plays?
He's kind of stiff a little bit. Yeah, it is the neck. Okay,
he yells like this.
Yeah, that was kind of old, but yeah, he used to do that.
Yeah.
Who grabbed? Oh, Alex is always grabbing his mask. Or no, is that Alex? Somebody always grabs their mask when they're like thinking, trying to.
I think it is Alex. No, Yosh might do that too.
Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe I should do that more.
Yosh is a barrel tightener. I am too, though. It's kind of hard habit.
I grab it just to make sure it's still on there.
Yeah, because like the Angels, you'd shoot them and they had so much vibration that the barrels would unscrew. So like I just developed a habit of running bunker to bunker and tightening my barrel, and now I still do it, and it's like there's never anything to tighten.
Yeah, I would just leave it in the dirt behind me, and I just had to make sure I still had it on there.
Oh man, Johnny, dude, I'm so thankful you came on the show. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
Play paintball. It's so much fun. I love when people are super passionate about paintball, because I know for a long portion of my life, I was just so passionate about paintball. I would read the magazines until the corners were just bent and falling off, waiting for the new magazine to come over or come in. And it's such a fun sport. It's just, everybody can play. I love seeing kids playing with their dads, people that are, 500 pounds, they can still play and still, have a role and just have friends and be, have a great time doing it. And it's just so much fun. If you can do it, and you can, I worked a couple of different jobs to try to play paintball just to, because I loved it so much, and just play paintball. Love it. You'll love it.
Thank you.
Good things happen. If you just play paintball, put your mind to it, put the work in. You got to work just like anything else. But if you put the work in, things can happen.
There it is. Thank you, brother.
No worries. Thanks, Zyzek.